All right, welcome everyone to the basics and the build. My name is Amber Miller, and if we haven't met yet, I've been with Plexus for getting close to 14 years. And I'm just honored and grateful to be able to say that it has changed my life. It's changed who I am as a person. It's changed our family's circumstances, and so many things. So I'm so grateful. If you are new to Plexus, I want to hear in the chat, new. If you feel like a newbie, then put that in the chat because I love seeing who is here. We are here every Tuesday. This call happens every single Tuesday. If you need a refresher in the basics or the building, come to this call. If you have someone that's getting started with you and you want them to hear some of these details and the how, invite them to this call. This is where we get everything set up and rolling. So, the first half of this call is all about the basics of conversations and social media posting. And we have some new stuff for you we didn't have last week. So, if you're here for round two, you're going to get some new things. And then the last half, the last 30 minutes, is on the build, what it means to help other people share, what that looks like, and how you can and why you should tap into that piece. So, come to the first, come to the last, or come to all of it, and we will dive right in. So here we go, the basics. What do I mean by this? By the basics, I mean how to have great conversations that lead to people being inspired and excited to purchase and use Plexus. I mean, posting in a way that helps you share the goodness of what Plexus is in a service based way and connect with others in a genuine way, right? That is what the basics are. If you are brand new and you haven't gone silver yet, silver means having your first three people order Plexus from you. I want you to hear and know this that everything I'm about to cover, you don't even need. All you need is enthusiasm to go help three of your close friends use Plexus with you. So, we're going to go into some deep dive details. But when I started Plexus, it was my mom, my mother in law, and my husband's cousin that I went to. I went to their house and I knocked on their door and was sitting on their living room couch and was like, I think you should use this stuff. I just started. I'm not really sure, but it seems really great. And you have migraines, and I saw testimonies for people that have migraines. Do you want to try it? And that was all those conversations looked like. And that's where most people start with their first few people, right? So know that because I don't want you to get overwhelmed by all we're about to go into. This is just extra. This is extra on fine tweaking things, okay? All right, so the basics conversations. A great conversation in Plexus helps someone, like we said, be inspired and ready to order. To do that, here is our conversation flow. If you're taking notes, write it down. This is offer, ask, testimonies, share. We're going to sow oats of conversation, all right? And here's what that looks like. So, an offer means you are simply offering them information on Plexus. That's it. You are not asking them to order. You're not asking them if they'll throw you your credit card, right? You're saying, hey, has anyone taken the time to share Plexus with you yet? And opening the door to conversation. Now, I want to add in here that what you do as a brand rep with Plexus, I want to encourage you to own it, write it down, make that feel so comfortable to you. I am a brand rep with Plexus. I am a professional in this space of helping connect people to this product. That is your role. So if that's your goal then is to connect people. Say, hey, have you heard of this? I would love to share if there's any needs that you have. That is not salesy. That is service-based connection to something they may or may not be looking for. That is all you're doing with an offer. So be very proud of it because you're helping create that conversation space, right? So something personable, why did you think of them? Are they another busy mom or a busy dad? Are they someone that you see that's really into health? What made you think of them specifically to send this message to? Ask if anyone's taken the time to share, briefly share what it's done for you or what it's done for others and why you started. So I recently started using the product line. So far, I've noticed energy, less fatigue. I see some inflammation in my face reducing, And what got me started is seeing the changes in people's life and gut health. Is there anything in that that piques some interest for you, or maybe you have a need for? I can send info over. Simple offer ask. Now, when they say, sure, send me info, or maybe you're skipping the offer and someone came to you. Maybe they saw your post or they saw you drinking it and they said, hey, what is that pink stuff? What is that Plexus? You're going to go right into the A part of our oats, which is asking what their needs are. Before you give anybody information, you're going to find out why they even want it or would have a need for it. Remember, if we're going to be service-based in what we do, we have to know their needs first. So you're going to say, great, so that I can send you info that would most benefit you, what are the main struggles you're having? Or what are the issues you're having now that you want to get over or get through? If they say, hey, what is that pink drink I see you posting about? You can give them a tiny blurb like, well, it's a gut health, hormone, nutritional support line. But so that I could give you info you'd be into, do you have any struggles that are coming up in your day to day? Or do you have any health goals you're working on? Simply ask them what they're looking for. They're going to respond, right? Well, I'm, always struggling to lose weight. I would love to lose 40 pounds this year. Or, oh, I really have this. What piqued me, what got me curious was the gut health. I have a lot of digestion issues, or I've been on a lot of things for that. Whatever it is, you're going to roll into that conversation. And when they give you that information, you're going to go into finding a testimony that matches. All right. So the reason we use testimonies is because there is so much information out there on what you should eat, why you should eat it, what you should consume, what products, right? There's information overload out there. It's never a lack of info that somebody has when making any kind of change in their life. It's always that need for inspiration and hope that directly connects to them. So if you're someone, and I've had this conversation before, that struggled with eczema, for example, maybe there's someone in your circle, they have eczema and they've used all the topical creams, they've tried all the things, nothing's worked. Maybe they don't know the connection between gut health and how vital it is. And if they said, well, I have eczema, and does it help with that? And I went into a detailed, yes, this is why you have this kind of probiotic, that kind of thing. This is what's happening in your system. This is leaky gut. And I'm just info loading on them. What happens is, okay, now I have homework. I've got to verify all of this. Now I'm information overwhelmed. All I wanted to know is, does it help with this? And the best way to show that is testimonies of people that have had eczema and now have clear, beautiful, vibrant skin. That is inspiration to act, right? So there's a lot of different places you can find testimonies. I know we have people here in all different Facebook groups and all different teams, so I want to honor that. Go to your upline and you can ask them, hey, where would I grab Plexus testimonies from? For some people, that's a Facebook group. Other people, it might be an album. If you're in the Rising Diamonds Facebook group, we actually uploaded a good amount of shareable testimonies in the guides section that you can search by topic. So those are in there. And if you have your own, I would encourage you to go ahead and put them in the comments of there. That would be awesome on that post, right? Someone said, oh my goodness, I nurse vomit on my people. Yes. Okay. So Melanie, I did too. And I used to feel like nobody would ever order from me. And I remember going to people and asking them for help on this. And they'd be like, well, Amber, you're sending them a book. No, my message was so long. Nobody wants to take the time to read that. Remember, info is out there. We're just inspiring them with what could be through testimonies. So I will usually grab 2 to 3, not more than that, testimonies of similar stories, similar things. If you're in Gut Health and Happiness, this is a group you can use the search bar and seek. But I also, personally, I have hundreds saved on my photo album that I can usually search for. And I'll say, does this sound like where you are now and where you want to be? And what I'm doing is I'm saying, can you see yourself in this story? And they read that testimony looking for hope. They're looking for someone that struggles and looking for hope. And it's so powerful. And often they say, yes, this is just like me, or oh my goodness, yes. And because they're excited to find someone that has that struggle and now has hope. And so at that point, I will send a brief product information to them. A lot of times it's just a couple sentences. Go ahead and screenshot this here if you want. And I use our graphics to do the rest. So I might say, well, based on your needs and what people love who have that similar struggle, they use our gut health system. It's one drink, two capsules, super simple, and it covers the core areas of the body and healing in those spaces. Here's some pictures of what that looks like. Does this look, here's a really key sentence, write it down. It's so powerful. Does this look like what you'd be excited? There's our emotion, excited to try and experience. If so, I'll send a card over. Powerful, clean statements right there. I want to, and they usually are. They're feeling that like, oh man, this would be awesome. And I'm asking, is that excitement there? Does this look like that fit you're seeking? And they see themselves in that. And then I send a cart. I send them a cart and I simply say, here's a cart with all three of those products. I'm so excited to see what this does for you and help you use this. I always put them on a subscription, friends. Hear me now. Always add a subscription on those products because you got someone with eczema, you got someone that wants to lose 40 pounds, you have someone with migraines, someone with PCOS, an exhausted, tired mom. She does not just need 30 days of product. She needs complete change of the way her system is functioning. Daily depletion needs daily support. So do her a favor and put that subscription on. And this is all I say about it. This is set up as a VIP customer account, which means you get 25% plus off on all your products for a full year. And we have so many fun things that you can add in later. I love our kids line. My husband loves our energy drinks. You can put a few tags for other products that she knows that she would want, right? So you're vision casting for the future. And it's set up on an auto order so that you can stay consistent and you also get some perks with that. I don't go into detail of explaining because once again, I don't want to bog down the excitement. You're going to get some perks with that and you can pause, cancel, or change at any time. Let me know when you order. I'm going to send you some information on how to use it. I'm really excited for it to hit your inbox. Super simple, super clean. I use that little bit of urgency. Let me know so I can send you. And y'all, sometimes I have like a graphic that's how to use the triplex, nothing special. I'll send that. Or a video on how to use the triplex. It's just something to create a little urgency because they want that like next piece and letting them know you're going to get a next piece as soon as you place this order, right? Sometimes I'll make it funny and say, so I can do a happy dance over here in my kitchen because I am so excited to work with you, whatever it is. All right, so that is the conversation flow. Simple, clean, powerful, and what I have used hundreds and hundreds of times over and over again. So offer, ask, testimonies, send a cart. If you're in conversations right now and you're like, Amber, I did not ask them what their needs were. I just sent information. You're all good. You're going to go back and say, hey, I realized I never asked you. What are you looking for in your day-to-day? What are the changes you're wanting to see? I just sent you a bunch of info out there, but I want to find some stories that might be similar to yours. Can you tell me? And you can go back to testimonies. All right. So next we're moving on to layering exposures because here's the thing. Some of those people that you're messaging, they're going to order right away. And I'll give you an example. I had a customer this summer order products and she ordered with the intention of wanting to share the products, right? Because she believed in gut health. She put up a post that day about having ordered Plexus and what it could do for people with some testimony pictures. Within an hour, some person she hadn't spoke to in 5 years had placed an order with her because they had seen Plexus for a while they've seen it on posts, they saw other people, they were in a season of like, I really want to change. They had a terrible day that day and how they felt. They were like, where's the link? I want to order it now. They were primed and they were ready. That's ideal, but there's a lot of people in our lives that they don't really know what Plexus is. They have no idea how that could connect to eczema. So when you send them a message, they're not even going to respond back because they thought that was a weight loss drink and they don't need weight loss, right? Or it's the very first time it's hit their feed. Most people need 8 to 12 exposures. And by exposures, I mean something they're actually absorbing, not something flashing before them, but actually leaning in and paying attention to. 8 to 12 exposures before they make a purchase. So, what you're doing by sending those conversations is you are planting seeds that we got to, just like a gardener doesn't say, well, I planted it, nothing sprung up. I guess bad seed, bad dirt, no interest. Let me move on. We know that that takes watering, sunlight, and time to develop. And if we want to be service-based salespeople, then we know we're in their story. And it's not about us needing that order today, but about planting that seed, yes, so we can cultivate that with layering exposures, and that when they're ready, they're going to come to us because we started the conversation and we have stayed consistent as who we are and what we do in this. If you post once a month about Plexus, you are not someone that comes to mind when someone in your audience is struggling with gut health. They're not going to think of you because very rarely do they ever see you in this space. They're going to think of the person that is the most consistent, that they see showing up the most, right? So that's why we want to be consistent in layering exposures. When you talk to them, their knowledge and their belief needs to grow and climb. And we're going to be there while that happens through our posts, stories, and conversations, and through follow up. All right, write this down. This is your biggest ticket. You can send, and here's the thing, and I've seen it over and over again. You can motivate yourself and you can send offer messages all day long and start conversations all day long, and you start it. But the person who wins for the person they're talking to and for themselves is the one who loves follow up. Okay? I love this. Brooke said, applying this idea to myself, it took 8 exposures to learn about the business. Second time being on the Zoom. I love it, Brooke. Thank you for that and welcome. Um, it takes a lot of exposures, but we're going to remain in that process. And I know that Leah, because I know who's working with you, was incredible at follow up with you and was patient as you got the information and as it started to connect to your needs. But if Leah had never reached out to Brooke again, she would not be on this Zoom with goals of being able to make a income for her family, right? If she had said, well, Brooke's not interested and never followed up, she wouldn't be here. This is why follow up is the best form of service with someone and what follow up looks like. So, service blocking thoughts. These are thoughts that you might have about follow up that are going to stop you from serving your audience and serving your goals and your family well. Well, they'll message me if they want it. No, they won't. They're not going to take the time to seek you out and remember you 2 months from now when they have a need, right? You have to be in their space. I don't want to bother them. We're not bothering them. We're asking if they have needs we can serve. I already sent the info. Y'all, I have sent info probably 4 times in a row to somebody and then them say, I'm so sorry. I'm just now getting back. I had a really busy week, or I had travel, or I had sick things going on in my life. I do want this. Thank you so much. And thank me for staying consistent, right? So service-based thoughts, I know I want that person to feel like I remembered them. I remembered you. I thought about you. I'm over here thinking. Let's use Leah and Brooke for a while. She's over there thinking about the benefit of what this could be for her and how much she wants, and knowing that this could be huge for Brooke. And so she's remembering her, thinking about her, and following up to serve her. I care about your decision. I'm here if you want support. That is what follow up done well translates to someone when you're in that space. So here's some follow up verbiage. Go ahead and screenshot this. I added some more from last week. So this is follow up if they stopped responding mid conversation. And this happens often because people put their phone down, they walk away, they get busy, and this is a way to bring them back. Maybe 2 or 3 days later, they're not responding. Hey, I know how busy life gets and how easy it is to put our own needs on the back burner. I love giving them that out, right? Hopefully it's helpful to pop this conversation back up for you. I know you liked what you saw in those testimonies. Are you leaning towards a yes on trying these out and just needing a little more info to decide on it? So I love offering someone You can do this in many different forms. I love offering someone a question that gives them an easy yes or no. When you message someone, I want you to think, is this an easy question to answer? Or does this require them to pause, have emotional, mental energy, think through all the things, and then respond? So, an example of that would be if you say, what did you like about that information the most? Okay, that's going to require them to stop, go back, scroll up, read all the info, do some homework, get back to you. If you sent a video and you say, did you watch that video yet? What was your favorite part? What happens if they didn't watch the video? They're going to be like, oh, I'm not going to respond to her yet because I feel bad I didn't watch it. Or I'm just going to say, I haven't watched it yet. And you just stop the conversation again, right? So if I send info or if I send a video and I'm following up 2 or 3 days later, I never refer to all of that stuff and ask them questions on it, what I just sent. Because I don't want to pause the conversation and force them to go back and do homework. I'm going to offer them a question that creates an easy yes or no. So maybe you sent a video, don't refer back to it and go, hey, you could say, not sure if you had time to watch that yet, but if you didn't and got busy, a recap of it, da 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 da. Is that feeling exciting? Like, do you want me to show you the next steps forward? You see how I referenced it, but didn't say you got to go watch it. That's that kind of easy conversations. No homework. Homework bad. Yes, Brenda. None of us want to do homework, please. We're all very busy people. So that's a good example on following up if they don't respond. Follow up if they don't respond to your offer. Okay, friends, you sent those messages, you planted those seeds, and if someone did not get back, let me tell you, it is more awkward to leave that conversation without saying anything again than it is to bring it back up. It is really, it's kind of, I like to think of it about being at a party. And if you were like, hey, how's it going? And you waved at someone and they kind of like glanced at you and looked away, you'd be like, oh, they probably just didn't see me. Right? Have you ever done that where you're like, I don't know if that person's talking to me or not, you know? And so you want to go back and be like, hey, how's it going? And like get more in their space to keep that conversation going instead of creating that awkward, weird, I didn't respond to her 3 weeks ago, so now it's going to be weird if I message her on this or I see her at church or whatever it is. So saying something like, hey friends, circling back in case my message got buried. I know with the new year, things are extra busy. I always love using the season. If anything I sent about more energy, reducing inflammation, gut hormone health caught your eye, I can send you simple info on how Plexus works. And you can look it over when it's convenient. And hey, if now isn't the right time, I hope you know you can tell me that too. I'm here to help if and when you need it. You're gently asking for a no because I don't care if someone says no. Great. Now I can put not now on my list, circle back later. Check in 2 to 3 months from now and say, hey, checking in, see if anything's changed. You could say something like, I think this was Christina who said it. I'm going to be doing this for life. So just checking in to see if seasons have changed for you and maybe a need has popped up. Like that's service based. I love saying something like, I know how hard it is to make space for our needs. I saw this testimony. Maybe you're sending a testimony because 2 months ago they shared with you that they had PCOS and then the conversation kind of went stale and they didn't respond for a while. Send them a testimony again. Remind them of what could be. And here's asking for that no. If you like what you see but don't quite have the space to make a choice, do you want me to check in later? And I use that when I can kind of tell that they're just a little overwhelmed right now. Like, let me just say, hey, you want me to check in later? And then I will. And our conversation can keep going. So that is follow up done well. All right, moving on because we got to keep flowing. And remember, I'm just going to pause right here for a second because I'm going to go into social media now and it's a lot. Everything we're covering right now, this is just take what you need. Maybe you need to work on follow up and you needed some follow up ideas, and that's all you're going to take from this call. Fabulous. Go increase your follow up skill because this business is all about just adding on skills, right? Skill increase. So that is why we're covering a lot. So take what you need. Don't get overwhelmed that you have to do it all right now. Remember, 14 years in the making, and I'm still learning every day. And that's what I love about the business. All right, so moving on to social media. For those who want to work on social media, this is awareness through social. The reason social media is powerful is because it can do that work of layering exposures, deepening connections, deepening trust without us having to be in front of the person, right? That is why it's powerful. So there's 5 different posting styles. And you guys, we made a brand new sheet for you on this. I'm going to share it with you in a second so you can print it out and use this as a guide. But if you're like, I don't know what to post, Amber, I feel like really random putting things up. I get it. These are the 5 styles: lifestyle, value and tips, things like maybe a favorite podcast you listen to, or a meal that you made, or something you ordered from Amazon that made your life better. I've used the example before of like simple things like pens. My mother-in-law loves these pens. Like she absolutely loves this type of pen. She's posted about it. She's told me about it. I have ordered these pens. That was helpful and that was valuable in my life. Simple things. Interests and hobbies. This is what makes you you. Are you a runner? Are you really into cows like me? Do you like making sourdough? Are you a reader? What's that's what makes you you and lets people know more about you. And when we know more about something, we're more apt to trust it with and that's how you have influence with people, right? Reflections, thoughts, and then plexus. So you're rotating between these things. Some tips is to show your face often. So I bring this example up here. I'm going to be talking about Leah a lot. She's my next door neighbor, friend of 15 years, senior Ruby, going Emerald. And I love the way she posts. Leah Linval, if you want to look her up. Um, and I love the way Sherry posts. I use here on here, but she always is including her face. So when I'm scrolling, people scroll fast, guys. People scroll fast. She could have opted, let's use this picture here, for example, to talk about her little goats and chickens and just put pictures of her kids with the chickens or the goats or something like that. And then while I'm scrolling, I'm not connecting Leah to this thing. But because she put pictures of herself in there, now when I'm scrolling, we're visual, I'm connecting Leah to this cool lifestyle of farms and animals, right? And instantly, without thinking, I have deepened my knowledge of Leah and who she is and what she does. She'll do this with, I should have grabbed an example, like cooking. She loves to cook. She'll show the meal that she made and put a picture of her face with the kids, like just a selfie. And I'm connecting that quickly with Leah, right? Um, it breeds trust. So you want to show your face often. If I'm scrolling and within 3 posts of your recent posts, I don't see your face, it's not often enough. Okay. Here is an idea, screenshot, and I also have a sheet for you with this of how you can rotate between these posts during the week. Remember, your goal is just to cause exposures to you, what you do, who makes you you, and be in people's space so they're thinking of you often. You cannot post too much. If you're like, Amber, how many times do I post? Trisha Rieger last month, she said, I posted 11 times on Facebook today because she is an action taker. I went to Facebook and I thought, you know what, I'm going to experiment. I'm going to scroll for 15 minutes, probably a waste of time, don't judge. I'm going to scroll for 15 minutes and I'm going to see if any of Trisha's posts post up. And I talk to her all the time. So algorithm should have connected us. Not a single one of her posts popped up for me. She posted 11 times. Do I know? Do I care? People aren't paying attention to that. They're just deepening their awareness of you, who you are and what you offer, and you're keeping them in your mind. Okay. Layering. Okay. So we're going to talk about stories. Now we're going to go into stories. So layering exposures in stories by showing the product and working the business in your real life. So all of these examples in my stories are photos of Plexus or me working the business, Plexus in my day, without some giant offer on it. It's just exposing that this is part of who I am. Just like I would put up homeschooling the kids or cooking in the kitchen. It's part of who I am, right? Are you exposing the business side that you're on this call right now? That you worked yesterday while the kids were napping or during your lunch hour? Are you exposing that on your stories and your posts and making it part of who you are? That's what you want to be layering that in. And you guys, if you're doing this and you're using the products every day, just take a picture of it. Put it up. If you're busy, can't put text on it, don't even put text, just put it up. If someone put a picture of their lunch, I'm not thinking, why are they showing a picture of that delicious salad? I'm thinking, oh, their lunch, right? So you don't always need a bunch of context if that's overcomplicating it. Now, while that slide I just showed you was exposures, not a whole lot of context, just in life, this slide I'm showing you is how to actually do a full offer and a full invite of Plexus or the business. So I would encourage you to do this once to twice a week, once with the products, once with the business, two separate pieces of a full all the way to what it is, what it can do with a poll, inviting them to take action and click on it. Right? I had a conversation this morning with a really sweet lady that has been watching my stories for like 3 years. Okay. And she just clicked on a poll. She's excited to order. She's excited about the business. It's been 3 years. So me putting up a poll the week before, the week before, the week before, the week before, she didn't click on any of those. She clicked on this one. She could be my next emerald, right? So personal, your results, why you use it, the problems, here's what it helps with, testimonies. You guys see how I just used two different pictures? That's it. Doesn't have to be complicated, and a poll. That's the 4 Ps of sharing Plexus. A micro story set. I'm going to go through this really quick because I'm almost out of time on this portion, but I just want to show you if you're like, Amber, I don't have time for social media, how easy it is to do it in your day if you're using these ideas. So a micro story means I'm going to take one thing, like I'm making pancakes for the kids this morning. And what I do, friends, is I take these photos and these videos, and then tomorrow I will make a story from it. A lot of times because I might be busy in the breakfast and I'm not going to stop and pause and do all that right in the moment. I am documenting it to use for tomorrow. And I might say something like breakfast time, take a screenshot from my video, send me a heart, and I'll send you my favorite pancake recipe. This is engagement. This is a tip. Here's asking. It's hard for me. Does anyone else plan it or are we winging it? This is engagement. And this was one simple thing of making pancakes. You do so much in your day, you can create micro stories out of. All right, so with all of that, you are just going to repeat. You are rinsing and repeating conversations, awareness through posts, and follow up. All of this right here, you can find it in Rising Diamonds. There's a Google document with all of these sheets that you can use. We actually have an IPA sheet for every single month of the year. IPA is income producing activities. This is where I'm going to pause before we go into the build, and I'm going to say there is nothing out there that is not detailed on how to do it. Any questions you need, you have all the tools. That's what I want to say here. You have all the tools. You have all the tools to go into work, do these things in 10 minutes. What do you have time to send in 10 minutes? Send a conversation, send a follow-up. You have 20 minutes, start 2 conversations and put up a quick post. You have 3 hours, send 20 conversations, do 15 follow-ups, put up stories and do a post. Whatever time you have, the information is there and it's simple and it's fast, right? So leaning in, it is all there. And it's important also just to build on the next day. If you have today and you're like, all I did was send one offer, I want you to say, hey, I showed up in my business today and I sent an offer. Awesome. Tomorrow, I'm going to give this a little bit more time, but today I did that one thing, right? Anytime you're sensing shame or guilt, or I didn't do enough, or I didn't show up yesterday and it was Monday and I said I was going to do 3 hours of work and I didn't. So maybe that means something about me. That is where we're blocking ourselves from growth. And instead of that, I want you to choose gratitude. I'm grateful that tomorrow I get to show up differently and nobody can fire me from this, from not showing up, right? Where's the gratitude that can move us forward? Okay. So with that, we're going to go into the build. Here's what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do in our intermission here before we go into building out your team. I'm going to ask, dun, 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 dun. Brenda, are you still here? Actually, Joseph, hey, I'm going to call on you. Can you give me a 90-second intermission here? Tell me your Plexus story and why you're grateful for it and a little bit about what it's done for you.
Sure, yeah. So We've been involved in Plexus. I think it's been 11 years, something like that now. With my wife first starting on the products after her second pregnancy, she saw incredible results with some baby weight and such. And then I think it was about a year after that, maybe two. I got on the products, and I'm ashamed to admit it, but I was very addicted to soft drinks. And it was kind of a habit I had just fallen into. Any like stressor or something, I would just have another soft drink, and so consuming a lot of Pepsi. And when I started on Plexus Slim, I had no craving for soft drinks at all. It was just gone. And so I was really able to curb that habit through that. And also just different acne trouble I had with my face and such, all cleared up. So it's been great for my health and incredible for our family, just the business side of it, being able to participate in like mission trips and some other incredible things that we're just really passionate about, having that extra source of income. And then between jobs and such, like our family Plexus business carrying us through some of that. It's been really incredible. So back to you.
I love it. Thank you so much. And Joseph just went senior silver himself, so
Woo!
congratulations. Another man moving Plexus forward. I love to see it. So thank you, Joseph. I love your family story. And you guys, sometimes Plexus is the plan B you didn't know you needed, right? Maybe you're building this now for a future that you're growing or you want in the future, and you don't know if a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, what's going to come up. And you're going to be so grateful that you were consistent in the opportunity God put in front of you and steward it well because you didn't know that you were going to lose a job or, situations were going to change or someone was going to come in your space and say, "Hey, can you help me?" And you have the resources to help, right? So, okay, not going to get too preachy, but think about those pieces too. Here we go, the build. So, duplication and team building. So, once you get the basics and you're working on the basics, I want to show you how to start building because that's the additional power of network marketing. So, what build means is there is you, you're the person in the middle, and here's your customers, okay? That's that basics. Conversations, follow-up, awareness, those are moving towards people grabbing carts. Wonderful, awesome, celebrate everything of that. But after that, what you're going to look to accomplish is helping your customers share the products with their network. Because when you do that, you are duplicating yourself and you're getting the products into people's hands that you would never have known and would not know because it's your customers' friends, right? Your customer is able to earn income, whether it's they just share with a couple people and they got a few $100s for helping their mom, sister, friend, great, or it's even more than that. But you have two powerful things with Plexus products and the income it allows. Someone ordering something on Amazon does not have that option. I can't, let's go back to the pens. I can't love these pens, have a bunch of people order them, and make a bunch of commissions. And every single month you order the pen, I'm going to make more commissions. That's not how it works. But with Plexus, it does. And it's the power of our business model. Because what happens as you get more confident, as you show up with excitement in the space, you're causing duplication, and that is going to go far beyond your reach. I'm willing to bet that almost every single person on this call right now is in my Plexus team somehow. And I don't know most of you personally at all. But somehow up the line, a person told a person who told a person who told a person who told a person, and you are here right now, free from whatever medical issues you thought you were going to be under and get worse and worse and worse down the road, and you're making an income because of that channel of passing from word of mouth. Powerful and exciting with what the build does. So, how to do it? So, people fall into two different groups. There's either customers who are willing to share or people who say, "I want to grow a business." 90% of people start in this group one as a customer who's willing to share with a few. Probably even 95% start here and then they transition to saying, sure, I'll share with my mom. Oh, wow, I see more about the business. Maybe that could be, and slowly work themselves over to group two. If you started in group one as a customer, I'm curious. Go ahead, put group one. I want to see who started in group one would say I was a customer and then I was open to sharing with some people. Most people are one, right? If you guys see this, I was one. I was in group one, right? So most people are starting there. Now I'm hammering that point home because one of the things I see stumps people is they go, well, nobody wants to build a business with me. I've asked people and nobody wants to build with me. Friends, most people don't start there. They don't know what you know. They haven't been hearing what you're hearing. They're not on this call. They don't know our stories. They don't know community. They still have their own fears and doubts. They're busy in their day. They're in your group one, but we can shift to group two with consistency, right? So, how you work with group one, helping them move to group two. So, what you're going to do is with every single customer, you're going to say, if you like these products, would you be interested in the income side? That question is, most people say yes because it doesn't feel intense to say yes to that. And most people are always open to more income, right? So you're going to say something like that in your own verbiage, however you want, but that's the question you're going to phrase to every customer. If they say no, here's the awesome part, you can pivot to just the referral. So if they say they're not interested in the income business side, totally get that. I understand not feeling like you have the space to add another thing. A great option we have for our customers is our Refer a Friend program. Call it whatever you want. If at any time you think of someone or know someone who could use this too, you can simply send them a link from your own customer account and earn referral cash. And when they order, um, you get to keep. So I'm sharing that so you can keep it in your back pocket. So basically, well, hey, totally understand. It took me a little bit to be interested, or I get it if you don't have the space. But an awesome thing we have is with your customer account, you actually have your own referral link. If you think of a mom, sister, friend, someone that could use this and they order, you're going to get cash back for that. Something just to think on, right? Um, People do put that in their back pocket. People do think about that. And then what you can do is every month you can check in on this. Hey, it's a brand new month. I thought I'd ask, has anyone come to mind that you think might be interested? I can send you some testimonies. For example, and I love using examples. For example, I just had a customer whose dad is a type 2 diabetic. And I sent her some testimonies of how the products could help him, and she passed them on to her dad. Because examples help them to picture themselves in the position taking the action that someone else took, right? So always using examples um, when you're checking in and check in. You could say, it is because the business has blessed our family, or because the business is such a blessing to so many, I make it part of my customer care to check in every month and see if situations has changed or your interest has changed, and I can help you earn a couple $100. Let them know this is what I do. This is part of my care for you because I know what could be, right? But if they say yes, you're going to help them share right away through a few different things. So let's walk through it. If someone says, yeah, I am interested in earning income, or if somebody, what I tend to have is a lot of people who order the products and say, I want to order the products because I'm interested in a business. And if I love them, right, I want to act on this. Or some people say, hey, I'm interested in that business you do. Can you tell me more? And I always say, okay, awesome. The way I have people start is by choosing a product set that meets their needs. With that product set, you get the ability, you get a website link. And I help you learn how to share that with people in need. Does that sound awesome? Tell me what your main needs are. Do you see how I went from someone interested in the business to like, we got to get your products ordered now, and then we'll move forward? What often happens if you're talking to someone about the business and they say, yeah, I'm interested, tell me more about it, you think, now I got to sell them on the business. So now I got to send them a ton of videos. Now I got to send them compensation breakdowns. Now I have to, no, well, you just need to get them to place an order so that you can help them take action towards the next step, right? We're not going to overinform and do homework. But here's what they do if they say yes, if they are willing to share with a few. What I tell them is I say, okay, great. So with that in mind, what most customers do is they have a few people use the products with them, not from, but with, right at the beginning and let their audience know they're trying something new. And you might say something like, because I'm sure you don't want to be like salesy, and knowing that this is what most customers do so that they're really like service based and helping their friends and family. Do you see how I'm speaking to their values and what they would want and why they want to take this action now instead of waiting 4 months for their own testimony? And I have never had one person tell me, well, I want to wait a couple months and get my own story before I post or before I share. When I approach it in this way, when I say with you, um, you can also say something like, if they do, here's something you can help them think through. Like, hey, totally get that. There's a method called feel, felt, found. The three FFF, feel, felt, found. Totally understand how you feel. I felt the same way in the beginning, but what I found was um, that, for example, I started the products for my gut issues, but I have a lot of friends that don't have gut issues. They have blood sugar balance problems and are diabetics. I'm not a diabetic, so I'm never going to have a diabetic testimony, but I had people that needed to hear that. So that's why when you put up a post just saying what you're using and what it could do, you're not asking anyone to order from you, but with you if they have any of those needs. Could you see yourself doing that? Does that feel good to you? And that's how I help walk them back from thinking it needs to be one thing to actually reframing it and, oh yeah, you're right. And I love saying like, how does that sound and feel to you? Can you see yourself doing that? Right? That's how we're work them towards that being like, yeah, I can see that makes sense. So first thing is I say, all right, I want you to know how to make a cart because I had a customer, and I use that example. I had a customer last summer that put up a post and someone ordered within an hour before her products even arrived. And you might find that there might be someone who's like already thinking about Plexus and you post about it and she orders from you. So I want you to know how to make a cart. So really quick, can you pull up? And this is usually in text, but if you can get on the phone with them, do. That's going to be amazing. But I say, can you pull up your website? Now click this, now click that. And I have them actually go through the process of making a triplex cart and sending it to me. And I'll say, send it to me. I'll make sure you did it right. Send it to me just because I want them to have that link. And I say, awesome, great. Now save that link in the notes of your phone. And this is the triplex. So when someone orders, you can send them this link. And if you didn't know, you can use that link over and over and over and over again, sending it to multiple different people. So I want them to know how to make a cart. I help them make their first post. So I have already written down the reason they're starting the products, what their goals are, and I formulate a little post for them. I might say something like, I just started using something called Plexus for my gut, hormone, whatever it is, easier weight loss goals, January, fill in the blank, or because I'm addicted to soda and I'm trying to break that addiction, whatever it is. I'm already seeing results like XYZ. Now, listen, if they haven't even ordered the products yet, leave that off. And you could say, my friend uses these and has already seen results like XYZ, right? Remember, people don't really care about what your story, they care about theirs. I have a referral link if anyone wants to try it out with me, and I'll keep y'all updated on how it goes in the weeks to come. Excited for more results. That's like the craziest, simplest post someone could put up, right? And I send them this picture, and this is in Rising Diamonds again, and say, this is what it should look like. Grab a picture of you, and here's a couple testimonies to choose from. Pick two and put them up. That's what you're doing. Let me know if there's questions in the comments on that. I give them a message example of what they can send out. I'm kind of reading the room. How excited are they to share? Do they want to earn 300? Do I send them that graphic and they go, yeah, that would be awesome. If they give me that, like, yes, that would be awesome. I would love that. I am like, it is my goal to make their goal happen. So I'm going to say, here's a message example that you can send out to a few friends. And I'm going to give them a message example. I offer an info chat. So this is like a little silent group chat that they can invite their friends to be in, and their friends can browse the chat and learn more about Plexus. The goal of the chat is for them to start conversations with more people. right? If you need more information on info chat, go ahead and message your upline or message someone you're connected to and say, what are the info chats Amber's talking about? They're going to be able to help you get more detailed information on those. But it's really simple. It's like, hey, message a few friends. We'll start a little group chat on Facebook. I'll drop all the information on what Plexus is, and they can browse it and see what pops out to them. And additional to that is you're always going to connect and inspire. So three-way chat with the upline. So you might, so for example, Leah's on here with Brooke, right? And Leah might start a three-way chat with me and Brooke and be like, Amber, this is Brooke. She's really loving her product. She's excited to share with a couple of people, and I wanted to connect her with you just so she can have some encouragement and meet some more Plexus faces. And I'll jump in and be like, hey, Brooke, awesome. So excited. Tell me about what you're loving with Plexus so far. And now it's not just Leah and Brooke in a closed chamber. Now there's more validation, there's more conversation, more celebration, because we know our best thing that we have in Plexus, or gosh, so many best things. So I'm not going to say the best, but our community is life-giving. Because when you're in a circle of people that want to grow and encourage you to grow and speak belief into you, that's rare and it's life-giving. So I want to get them into that. I'm going to get them on our gut health and happiness calls like we have every single Tuesday and stay really closely connected in helping them reach that goal. So that is how you help someone that says, yeah, I'll share with a couple, and the steps that you want them to take. And y'all, if it doesn't follow this perfect pattern, it's okay. If they're like, oh, I never post, I don't really want to post, I always, hey, no worries, fine, totally. You know, for me, I never even posted. I just talked to my mom, mother-in-law, and sister. And I might just say, who do you know? Does anyone come to mind? And then they start, well, my mom has fibromyalgia. Well, my dad is this. My sister is really wanting to lose weight. And then I'm getting them some testimonies, and I'm doing that exact offer flow through them with their audience, right? I don't say, okay, great. This is how you have a conversation. It's called the OAT system. I'm not trying to train them. I just want to help them generate that quick result and then gently guide them to the next step, which might be something like, okay, so this is really what the income side looks like. Like your next goal is senior silver. That is this many. Let me help you. And then that's when I start sending maybe some trainings and things like that. All right, so that is the basics and the build. Jimmy's like, yep, got it. Good. This is when we do our couple minutes of questions, not specific cases, but generic questions that anyone can learn from. Anything like that popping up for you? Are you thinking like, well, what about this piece? Or anyone want to share even something good that they have applied since last week that they've seen results from? Anything like that? Of course. Of course. Thank you, Jean. Jenna. Thank you, Jenna. And Brooke, thank you for letting me use your example. Anybody? Anybody? Any takers? Jimmy.
So yeah, I took kind of the way that you set up that first post. I decided, okay, I'm gonna just try this out. So I have somebody right now who I've sent an example, gave her some verbiage, and then she said, "Oh, great, okay." And I sent her two extra testimonies, and that's something I haven't done in the past. It was mostly just a picture of them with their pink drink. And so I like this because then it gives examples of two things. I think it does is it, especially if you can find ones that have to do with whatever health issues that they're struggling with. So for her it was IBS. So I went into your Rising Diamonds to those graphics, pulled one from there, and or pulled a couple from there, and then and then showed them to her, and she said, okay, great. So now I'm just waiting for her to put up the post. And so I actually just sent her a message while this was going on. I said, hey, how does this sound? Haven't heard anything back yet. So I'm waiting. But I like that. I think I really like that the way you're setting up that first post. So I'm going to try that and hopefully also teach that to my team. And to go along with that, what would you suggest? Because I like how you are doing those graphics. I think actually it's very helpful in when we're sending those messages to people that it's easy, it's compact, it's not this big long, you know how many, yeah, big long messages we've sent of like somebody's testimony. So I like that, but how would you say, is there like, do you just do Canva? Is that how you set them up, or who is doing those? Because they look great. So I'm not sure where you want me to send them and if there's a certain way that you're feeling is most effective. So they all look the same. Do you know what I'm saying? Anyways.
Are you talking about the testimony graphics?
Yes. The testimony graphics that you guys having in Rising Diamonds, and
Yes.
yeah, they're all very nicely done.
Yes, thank you. So I'm going to show you guys where those are in the guides in just a second. And Jimmy, I love that you had her do that. And if you've sent someone and they said, okay, I'm going to do it, a good follow-up, if they don't put the post up yet or anything, you might say something like, hey, good morning. I am over here just holding my breath, waiting for that post because I am so excited to help that money hit your bank account this month. And that is my goal. Tell me, do you think you're going to do it today? Like, you know what I mean? You just create that like, and you could say a funny GIF, like a, "Ooh," like something, like make them feel like, oh, Jimmy, okay, yes, I'm gonna do it. Like that just is so fun. So I'm gonna show you guys what she's talking about in case you guys are like, where are these guides? So we're working on adding more to Here's Rising Diamonds. This is the guides. If you scroll down, and it is guide 3. And we have all these shareable testimony slides with multiple different problems and all the things. So the way I make them, Jimmy, is this might be good for anybody on here. So I will go into gut health and happiness and I find stories like this man's incredible story. And I screenshot because oftentimes people's testimonies are far too long that they write. I want to encourage everyone on this call, write a short testimony, okay? And listen, I have a girl the other day I was talking to, she always tells us that the products helped her with her gut issues. We had no idea. And then in conversation, she's like, oh, yeah, I used to have ovarian cysts all the time, and I've had none in 9 months. And we're like, what? Why aren't you sharing that? And so we encourage her to break it down into 2 different testimonies, a testimony about her gut issues with a picture, and then a totally different testimony because that makes it usable within who you're talking to, right? Instead of like, yeah, I know that you might have 27 problems with you that Plexus helped. What if you broke them down into individuals because you could send them to specific individuals, right? Um, so what I do is I screenshot the written part of someone's testimony and then I download their photo to my camera roll. And then I go in the stories on Instagram and I piece the 2 together. Like, you can upload a photo and I piece the 2. And then I download that story I just put in Instagram to my camera roll, and then I just cinch in the sides. And now I have this perfect story thing pieced together. Yep, I know, right? So that is how I have done that. But all right, friends. Well, that is our time. We are up for time. We will be here next Tuesday covering the exact same information. So come as a reminder or a refresher or have someone else come. And really, really excited to be here with you. Proud of everyone here. You are well equipped. You are capable of growth in skills and mindset. Everyone that has reached the top is exactly where you are now. And all they have done is stayed in it longer and continued growing skills, right? What do they say? I have heard no and gone through more slumps than you have, unless you've beat my 14 years, I promise. So that's just part of it. And that's part of the progress, right? That makes your best stories later. All right. Well, we'll see you guys next Tuesday. Join us tonight at 8 p.m. Central Time. We're going to talk all about the business side of Plexus, the stories of impact of what it has done. Here's your work right now. I want to challenge everyone on this call. And if you have team on this call, hold them to it. Go message one person at least, and say, hey, I know we've talked about this a few times, or I know we haven't even talked about this yet. But I've always thought about how incredible this business model could be for you because you are someone who loves people, because you're a stay-at-home mom, and there's so many stay-at-home moms who are doing this, because you are whatever it is. There's a call tonight that's about 20 minutes long, goes over the business side of Plexus. Would you be willing to listen to it with me? I want you to hear what I'm hearing. That's all you say. All right, challenge accepted. Yes? Give me some head nods and yeah? Okay, Rosanna, I see you. Yep. All right. All right, we'll see you guys on that call. Thank you, friends. Talk to you later. Bye.